What's going on, everybody? This is Afro Think Tank. Donald Trump's policy of banning mostly African countries from coming into the United States and restricting many other African countries from coming into the United States under the pretext that an Egyptian man who's Arabic, by the way, not an African, not a black African, but an Arabic man conducted a terrorist attack in America. But keep in mind, Egypt is not on that list, even though it was an Egyptian man, an Arab man. But he used that as a pretext to ban a bunch of African countries. He don't want your black ass here, okay? And what I'm hoping happens is that it awakens a lot of Africans who view themselves better than and more accepting to the white man than us African Americans. Right now, keep in mind before I go, I'm not talking about the Africans who are fully aware of the Europeans and how they've always been, right? I'm not talking to those Africans who support their brothers and sisters in the diaspora. I'm talking to those Africans like Modi, right? Like the very gorgeous, conservative Nigerian woman that, loves white people. And she's decided that she's going to make her money on YouTube by talking shit about African Americans while cosplaying as one herself. Because that's what she's doing. Because you don't see Modi looking quite Nigerian, if you know what I mean, while she's talking. She looks very European-esque as she panders to white men for their acceptance. And she also thinks that she's going to get some sort of special card for talking shit about, African Americans. And you see, African Americans have been telling continental Africans, and I'm specifically talking to continental Africans now. African Americans have been specifically talking to continental Africans for decades, trying to warn them about the white man and what they really, really think about you, about how they really feel about you. But you decided you wanted to listen to that white man because he could offer you something. He offered you money. He offered you a fake position within white society. And all you had to do was confirm to him that you're on his side over the African American. I want to speak to all the Gen X's in the older generation of Africans who warned their African children to stay away from African Americans, who openly disrespect African Americans, us, your brothers and sisters, who you think you are better than. All right? I want you to realize now that you ain't nothing but a nigga, as far as they're concerned. You see, your grandmama and your grandparents told you that African Americans ain't shit, even though your grandparents, right, and your parents, they was watching African Americans. They was watching our TV shows. They was admiring us. They was imitating us. They was duplicating us. But then they told you told your children, don't hang with us. Because you African people convinced yourselves that you were better than the African people in America. Because you allowed that white man to gas you up. The same way they gas you up here with their churches. You guys gave up, and this is God's honest truth. You guys gave up a lot of your culture for that white man and them butter biscuits after colonization. After you had the ability to turn back to your traditional ways, to your traditional values, to who you really are. You guys chose the white Western world and all its trinkets. And it's sad that it's going down like this, but I'm very happy that it's happening this way. Because now you realize you ain't nothing but a nigga, just like the rest of us. The same things that you thought about us is the same thing that they think about you. You think we're vicious, dangerous, loud, undisciplined people. Well, these white people think that you're vicious, dangerous, loud people. That's what they think you are. Even though I know for a fact that's not what you are. Even though you've convinced yourself that that white man was going to give you that butter biscuit. Now you see their true feelings. You see, you didn't want to listen to us black people when we told you how disrespectful the white man was. You didn't want to listen to us. And we was telling you. Now you ain't got no choice because they're telling you in your face what they think of you. As you see Donald Trump, who, yes, he represents the United States of America and how white people feel because they voted for this man 3 times. And they're going to try to do it again. Donald Trump is being blatantly racist towards you specifically. You know why? Because he knows your potential. He knows what's about to happen in Africa. Well, actually, you know what? Let me take that back. He doesn't. Because if he did, he wouldn't do this, but I'm glad he's doing it. He's disrespected every one of your heads of states. He's disrespected your country. He disrespects your people. He's telling you, as the head and the leader and the representation of white people, what they really think of you. And if you notice, the same things they say about you is the same things you think about us. And keep in mind, I'm talking directly to the ignorant, hateful, xenophobic Africans. And because of this, because of your acceptance of white butter biscuits, and because we hear the whispers from your children, we hear the whispers out of your mouths, the backhanded comments that you make towards African Americans who you don't appreciate, because the thing that you guys thought was entitled to you is the thing that those Africans that you've been disrespecting are the ones who gave to you. But you didn't appreciate that. But now you're going to see what happens when it's taken away from you. So now all the things, all the benefits that you thought was a right because you thought you were so smart because you did really good on that test. Because you got that special visa and you came to the United States and you were able to thrive. And keep in mind, I know you guys are the same Africans that disrespect your own people in your country. Because most of the Africans I'm talking about live in America. Those are the ones that's the most disrespectful. You high-class, uppity-ass Africans who look down on your 9-to-5 Africans that live on the continent. Because most Africans can't afford to fly to America. Most Africans can't afford to go to the prestigious African schools and apply for those B1 visas or pay some sort of bribe or pay some sort of dowry to some white university in order to get their children there. See, most Africans can't do that. But see, I know a lot of you guys do that because I know a lot of you because I live in the area where you live. I grew up with y'all. I know what y'all do. I know what y'all talk about. I know the difference between a 9-to-5 African that come over here and struggle and barely got over here and some of you new Negroes, you Afropeans. You see now, you see how unwanted you feel? You see how globally you've been disrespected? That's how we've been disrespected. So while I'm sitting here trying to defend you African people on the continent from my own ethnic tribe, African Americans, who have created a whole group simply to battle you because you gassed them up like that. Keep in mind, you talk shit about an African, Africa gonna talk shit back to you, no matter where they are. So you can't blame a lot of these African Americans for saying, you know what? Fuck you. You said fuck us, then you know it's fuck you. Especially since we are, in fact, the most successful group of black people on the planet. No matter what you say. We are the most educated black people on this planet. No matter what you say. And this is not an ego trip. These are called facts. And we managed to do that away from our homeland, still living in the concentration camps of white superiority. Somehow these warriors who you disrespect, us African Americans, somehow we managed to squeak out a life, a respectable life in this situation with these white people. See, what you're dealing with is light work compared to what we dealt with. Light work compared to what you deal with. when it comes to this modern day racist white person. And we know how to handle this white person. We know exactly we know them better than they even know themselves. And they even know that. And because you are brothers and sisters, we try to tell you. And a lot of y'all spat in our faces. It blows my mind that there's any African person who can open their mouths to talk shit about their great warriors, the African Americans. The same way it blows my mind that we can talk shit about Haitians. The same way it blows my mind that any African American could think they're pretending. The same way it blows my mind that any African American can sit there and make a habit, make it a hobby to get online and talk about continental Africans as if they don't understand the situation, because African Americans have always understood the situation. As a matter of fact, African Americans from way over there in America are the ones that always held down the integrity of the African, including our history and culture, our history and our culture on the entire continent. We've been doing that for decades, next to the most vicious white man ever created, the most strategic, most dangerous barbarian ever conceived, the most badass Viking warrior savage ever manifested on this goddamn planet. And we African Americans, we've been battling them and we've been putting them in check for centuries in their territory that they carved out through death and destruction. You see, I happen to know what Africa's doing. I know this is bad for white supremacy. Everything Donald Trump is doing is revealing the true nature of the white man for everybody to see it. So African Americans should feel very vindicated by all what's going on. We should feel very vindicated that you guys are finally getting a little bit of taste, just a little taste of what it is we've been talking about. And that means your pride and your ego should be pretty damaged by now. When you thought that this Donald Trump, because a lot of you guys like Donald Trump, a lot of you guys voted for Donald Trump, you thought Donald Trump was on your side. You thought you was the good Negro. You thought you was a model citizen. But now, you're thinking something else now, huh? Now you're upset. Now you're pissed off. Now you're offended. You're appalled that a United States president would treat you, your people, and your heads of state this way. So disrespectful. Right in their face. Appalled that a Liberian president who's a descendant of African slaves could speak English well. A man who doesn't speak English well disrespects an African who speaks English 1,000 times better than him, who's 1,000 times more educated than him, who's 1,000 times more cultured than him. Keep in mind, Donald Trump knows 12 words and he repeats them over and over again. For all you continental Africans, you xenophobic, hateful Africans. Now, I know y'all don't have an equivalent of FBA, but there's 1.4 billion of you conservatively. So even if 0.1% of you are talking shit, that's a lot of ignorance right there. And don't think African Americans who had to live with these white people, all right, that you are now offended and appalled by, right? Don't think for a second that we wouldn't get offended that after all that we've done for the planet, including all the inventions that give you the opportunity to even look on your phone and understand your actual situation. You know, the technology developed so that you can get on that phone and understand your situation. That you would dare spit in our face. You see, we humans too, and we got feelings. And I don't like the fact that I got to battle my African American brothers and sisters on behalf of continental Africans, my brothers and sisters, only to have all of it go into the backside because here comes some person like Modi who wants to make $1 because the white man will give a pretty little African girl some money to talk shit about African Americans like Candace Owens, because that's exactly what she's doing. And she ain't the only one. There's a few of you out there. I know that. You guys are arrogant. A lot of you continental Africans are very arrogant. And it was your arrogance, it was your lack of knowledge and lack of understanding and lack of comprehending of who you was dealing with is why I even exist in the first place. Why my ethnic group exists in the first place. If it wasn't for the division and the arrogance of Africans who thought that they knew better than them Europeans, who thought that them Europeans was like us, because there's absolutely no way. There's no reason why you should have let them Europeans do what they did to you. There's no way. You're stronger, you were smarter, more developed, but it was that arrogance. Because, black people are some arrogant mofos. How do you think I know? Because African Americans can be arrogant too. We all get it. We get it honestly. But y'all, I know y'all level of arrogance is next level because y'all have a class system over here in Africa. I see it. There are Africans who truly and honestly believe that they are in fact superior to other Africans. And that is the truth. When in fact, you ain't superior to nobody. You're just like everybody else. And now you're figuring it out that you're just like everybody else. So I just want to say, you guys owe us an apology. Now, do I think I'm going to get it? Probably not. Because you're an arrogant black person. Black people don't like to apologize. You're not going to admit that you're wrong. But that's okay. That's all right. Because you about to feel it. Just like them white folks are feeling it, you about to feel it. You about to feel it right now because a lot of you guys are not going to be able to come over here. A lot of you guys are not going to be able to go to school and do the things that you want to do. A lot of you guys are not going to come and get those opportunities you thought that you was entitled to because you're so smart, right? A lot of those bribes to those officials not going to work no more because we have a white supremacist administration now. Pure white in a complete 100% representation of white America to the fullest. This is a manifestation. This is a reaction to the first black president. That's what this is. They've been reacting for 10 years because that's how disgusted they are. That somebody that looked like you had the nerve to be in charge of them. That's how they feel about it. Now, I happen to know that what this is going to do, this is going to piss off your politicians. Your politicians are mad as shit right now. They feel embarrassed. Because they got embarrassed on the world stage. Not once, not twice. 3, 4 times. They've been, ever since Donald Trump been there, he's been shitting in their face. On camera. Shitting in your country's face. Shitting in your leader's face. And all you could do is sit there and take it. Because there's nothing you can do. Because a lot of your politicians rather steal your money, steal your shit, and kiss the ass of the white man. Kiss the ass of those NGOs. They rather import shit so they can keep making money instead of developing your countries. And it's very true. When, some African Americans in a very uncolorful way remind you of where you come from. It's true. They may be very uncouth about it when they say it. They may say it in an unnecessarily disrespectful way. But inside of there's a truth. And the truth is, you guys are forced to leave your countries because of what the United States of America does to your countries. Yet you don't take in consideration that the people who are in charge of America, those white people, are the ones that do it to your countries, forcing you to have to get on a plane and come to America, the Death Star. But I need you to understand one thing, and it's the only thing we ever tried to explain to you, that the only reason anybody that's not from Europe can come to America and do anything is because of the African American only. Nobody else. Because we did it by ourselves. Because we ain't have no choice. African Americans are the reason why your babies had those opportunities to come to America. African Americans are the reason why you were able to bribe those institutions to get over here with those visas. African Americans are the reason why you were able to come over here and get jobs with fintech and get all the high-end education to take back to your countries to develop, as you guys are doing right now, which I'm glad. But every single step you ever made in America, you can thank an African American, your brother and sister, who you commercially and systematically disrespect, thinking that was going to get you closer to whiteness. And like I said, I always maintain the same energy. And anybody who's ever watched me, they know this. I'm against African division. I'm against any African, any descendants of slaves, any descendants that come from the continent of Africa, no matter where you are globally. I'm against any African, no matter what language you speak, that sow division amongst us. You know why? Because we ain't got no motherfucking time for that shit. We don't. We had time in the 80s, 70s, 90s. We had time. But right now, we ain't got that goddamn time. You know why? Because it's time for Africa to rise. We don't have time to be distracted by stupid, petty, infighting, petty shit. We don't have time to be distracted by your ignorance about the situation in America and why you were able to thrive and be successful. Because a lot of you guys think you're more successful than African Americans, when in fact, you're absolutely not. You see, what they do is they use numbers to skew statistics, because there's not that many of you over here when I say over here in America. And the reason that is the case is because the ones that come over out of the conservative 1.4 billion are the ones that were exceptional in the first place. You're not the 9-to-5ers. You're not the day-to-day. You're not the average. You are the exception to the rule. You are a highly concentrated group of exceptions to the rule that's been placed in America and been compared to African Americans who have exceptions to the rule and average people. Because you see, if we measured up your 95 to our 9-to-5, then those statistics will look different. So no, you African people have not come to America and exceeded and did anything more than what African Americans have done. What you have done is compared yourself to the day-to-day 9-to-5 who are not exceptional, but are average, which is nothing wrong with that. You are exceptional. But when we measure you up to our exceptional African Americans, those statistics change. Now, I'm not saying you're not capable. I know you're very well capable because we're the same people, of course. But it's your arrogance. It's your African arrogance that gets in the way and that blinds you to the plight. It blinds you. And it creates hate and division and animosity. Because our ancestors, our African ancestors, who didn't have the advantage or didn't have the privilege to be enslaved in their homeland. We were taken to a place where we had no orientation. No way to go back home. You see, at least you were home. I much rather struggle and be in pain at home than struggle and be in pain in a far off land I ain't never been before. With much more complicated situations, because now I got to deal with not only Europeans from various different places, but I got to deal with this Native American who's pissed off at the white man and us sometimes. And we never know what we're going to get when we come with them Native Americans, because they enslaved us too. Keep that in mind. We had to teach ourselves how to read and write just so we can become excellent. America has done everything it possibly could in every goddamn situation that they can possibly put us in every industry that they have ever created to hold us down. And despite that, we still thrive and we still rise any goddamn way. And when we open the doors for the entire world, despite the white man's objective, because if it was up to the white man, there would have never been another African landing in America. There would never been an African going to any HBCUs. There would have never been another African going to any elite Ivy League school. There would have never been an African being hired at any fintech or any high-end technology company. There would have never been an African creating businesses in America. There would have never been any African businesses in America if it was up to that white man. You're just lucky that African Americans were able to carve out a little bit of political power. Just enough to open the door for you. But when we opened the door for you, what did you do? What did you do? You pushed us out the motherfucking way. And yeah, you did try to replace us. You know what I'm talking. I'm not talking about my good Africans, my brothers and sisters who understand. Because a lot of those Africans who came over here, they was in the struggle with us. I appreciate those Africans. Because guess what? The white man don't distinguish between your high-end B2 special visa ass and the day-to-day black person walking up and down the street. You get dealt with the exact same way. They will remind you every day of who the hell you are and who they think you are. Every goddamn day. So yeah, so now you're gonna have to deal with the public global embarrassment of Donald Trump saying you're not even good enough to come to America because you black. Don't tell me you ain't black now. I bet you know you black now, don't you? Huh? You see, you didn't understand. I understood. Y'all didn't know what black was, did you? You was like, I'm not black, I'm Ethiopian. I'm not black, I'm Nigerian. I'm not black, I'm Angolan. Yeah, you are. That is, you are Angolan. But guess what? When you leave Africa, you black. I understand that in Africa, you never had to think about it. It was like, well, shit, everybody's black. And I try to explain that to my African Americans, that the concept of black is a little different when you're on the continent and everybody's the same complexion. But see, y'all come here, and after having it explained to you, y'all still want to be arrogant and think that your nationality is better. You know why they call us African Americans? And you see a lot of African Americans, they get a little confused because they think that you guys come over calling yourselves African American, when in fact, you cannot call yourselves African American. You know why? Because you come from a country. So you call yourself whatever that country is, and then America, the new nationality that you're trying to adopt. An African American is an African who was snatched from Africa before those European lines that you guys are so proud about. There was no such thing as Ghana, Angola, Nigeria, all these names that you guys are so proud about. And try to say you're not black, you that. You're more proud of them white names and them white lines that the European gave you than the race that you are. Just like we got some African Americans that's more proud of their colony. They're more proud of the jail, their generational jail, their nationality that was forced upon them than the race that they are. And you see me, I'm a Pan-African. I'm more proud of my race because my race is great. You are great. We are great. And I don't accept anything less than greatness from us. Somebody has to draw the line. Somebody has to gatekeep this black excellence and this unity because it's Pan-Africanism or nothing. It's global black unity or nothing. And it doesn't mean you have to call yourself a Pan-African. That's the great thing about Pan-Africanism. It's an ideology, not a club, not a cult. Pan-Africanism. Pan means global. Let me educate you. Pan means global. African. Global African. That's what it means. Just by saying it means we are declaring that we are global Africans. We will dominate the world eventually. Or nothing. We will get back on that golden stool one way or another. And you Africans should understand what I mean by that. We once was on the golden stool. They stole the golden stool. But now we need to snatch that bitch back. Now they're letting you know how they truly feel about you. See, now you ain't got to listen to us no more. Listen to the white man. Let him tell you himself. He's telling you who he is now. Now you can hear because you wasn't listening before. Because you thought you was a special Negro. You thought you was a special African, didn't you? You not. You a nigga. Just like us. Your countries are fucked up just like our neighborhoods are fucked up by the same government with the same plan. And now that Pan-Africanism is rising, even though you xenophobic, hateful Africans can't see that because you're too busy talking shit about those African Americans that gave you a fucking opportunity to do the shit that you're doing now. You're not paying attention to the rest of the global black world. They don't give a fuck about that disunity shit. And they getting their shit together. See, that's where I'm at. I'm just trying to bring y'all along. I'm trying to get your head right. I'm trying to get you to focus, get in your frame. We don't have time to fight each other. We got enemies, you understand? The white man is going down, and they're not going down without a fight. Do you understand? They got a scorched earth policy. You know what that means? Ask Namibia. What did they do to Namibia when they got kicked out the first time? They fucked up the soil. They put salt on it so we couldn't grow shit. Just so they can come back and say, look at those Africans. They can't grow shit. Keep in mind, these white folks, they went to America and couldn't grow shit. They had to go to Africa to find farmers who can grow shit anywhere on the planet. We were already consummate professionals. Do you understand that? White people, they don't do shit on their own. They get others to do it for them. But we do shit on our own. But somehow Africa is having a problem with food. How does that make sense when it was the Europeans that snatched Africa to make their food? How does Africa have a situation where people are starving when there's food everywhere? How is that? It's because your governments rather put U.S. dead president slave owners notes in their pocket than to take care of you. And you guys have whole countries. African Americans are a nation from within the nation. We don't have our own independent governments. We don't have that. We got to do this shit utilizing the white man's institution, which is even harder. And then we got to deal with the corruption and uneducation within our ranks at the same time. You guys have a slight advantage in this modern day age because you have whole countries and you got allies next to you on your left and your right. You guys have banks. You guys are resource rich. What does African Americans have even to this day? Take away financing. We ain't got shit. You know why we ain't got shit? Because the white person took it from us after they gave it to us. And we still doing it. African Americans are warriors. You need to understand. We are warriors. Our ancestors were warriors. We are warriors. Everybody in the Western Hemisphere, all the Africans over here who you think you better than are warriors. We are generational warriors. And you need to put some respect on our name. And we are highly educated, highly capable, and we are still winning, even in an institution that don't belong to us. But a lot of us are coming home. It ain't shit you can do about it. Because most of you ones that's talking shit, y'all gonna stay in Canada. Y'all gonna stay in the UK. Y'all gonna stay in America. And when the white man crash out, he gonna crash out on you, those Negroes that's left. While the rest of us smart Negroes go back home to the land of milk and honey. So I just want to let you know, and keep in mind, I'm only talking to you xenophobic, hateful ass Africans. And I'm talking to you ones that hate the other Africans too, because there's a lot of that shit going on. Ghana hating on Nigeria. Brothers and sisters, it make no fucking sense when you got white people sitting here telling you that y'all got shithole countries. South Africans talking shit and stopping other Africans from going into hospitals to get their babies taken care of, but you don't give a fuck about that white man who own your whole goddamn country. You ain't got no smoke for them? You see, I got smoke for the white man, and I say it out loud because I'm not scared. Because I'm willing to die on my shield, win, lose, or draw. Because I'm a real African and I'm a real warrior in real life, not for play. I'm not a keyboard warrior. I'm about that life. And I've chosen to be about that life for my people, win, lose, or draw. That's Pan-Africanism. That's what we doing. So you xenophobic, hateful ass, ignorant ass continental Africans, you better get that shit together or you gonna get rolled the motherfucking over. We're gonna come and take your shit because you don't fucking deserve it. Because all skin folk ain't kinfolk. And if you're on that other side of the line, you're gonna get rolled over right there with the rest of the colonizers. And that's what's gonna happen. You want that butter biscuit, them bitches gonna be poisoned because we're gonna put that shit in there. Because you are the enemy. Anybody that sows division between black people are the enemy of black people. Anybody. And they all can get it. Because we ain't got time. This is our moment. This is time for us to rise. This is time for us to concentrate on who the true enemy is. The clear and present danger. Because keep in mind, that white man ain't going out without a fight. History should have told you this. If you are truly educated, you will know the white man will never go down without a fight. And when I say white men, I'm talking about the racist ones, because there are plenty of Europeans who ain't have shit to do with colonization, ain't have shit to do with the transatlantic slave trade. And there's plenty of Europeans who are humanists and understand that we all really are just one big family. And we're all brown. Everybody's brown. There's no other color than brown in the human race. We're all brown. Different complexion, different shades. But you see, that white man is one who created that whiteness. So since they created it, I'm gonna identify the ones that still want to stick with that. I'm gonna identify them as the enemy. And anybody that want to stick with them, I'm gonna identify you as the enemy, whether you're on a continent or not, because that's what you are. And we need to elevate our education. Stop allowing the white man and his algorithm to sow division. There are think tanks out there. There are billion. If you haven't figured out that there are multi-billionaires who made their money by killing, destroying, and stealing from Africa. Generational billionaires who get their money from mama and granddaddy and grandpappy who had slaves. Multi-billion-dollar corporations that made their money through slavery and colonization. The same corporations changing their fucking name over and over again so they don't have to be responsible for the past. They are attacking us full throttle. But you got your back towards them because you want to place it towards your brother because that's an easier target because it's more familiar to you. Or you want to jump on a goddamn trend because you see everybody else making a video. So you want to make the video because maybe you'll make a couple goddamn dollars on the internet talking shit about your brothers and sisters, being susceptible to greed. That's the problem we got, and that's what I'm fighting against. So yeah, you hateful, xenophobic, continental Africans, I got smoke for you. You need to get your shit together. Change your mindset. Educate yourself for real so we can get this shit together and be one team. We ain't got to be one group of people, but we can be one team. You see, white people, they hate each other. They can't stand each other. They will always create a line to divide each other. But they are unified on one thing. We are an existential threat to their survival. Therefore, for every action, there's an equal reaction. So if that's how they feel about us, then that's how we should be feeling about them. Because they are an existential threat to us, while they are on the way down due to their own policies, no fault of us. So we need to protect ourselves and be smart. This is psychological warfare. This is media warfare. Media is the new battlefield. And we need to be smarter about the content that we create. We need to be smarter about who we attack and how we attack them. Now, if there's a hateful, stupid-ass African-American talking shit, hell, feel free. Clap back. But don't you ever, in your motherfucking black-ass life, blanket all African-Americans and disrespect us just because one ignoramus hurt your motherfucking feelings. And let me tell you something. Just like I tell African Americans who are pretending like they're upset about Akata, most of y'all was never called African booty scratcher. And if that's the only goddamn word that hurts your feelings so much that you think you can disrespect an entire ethnic group that did everything to give you a better life over here in the Western Hemisphere, then you're thin-skinned and you're the weakest link and you don't deserve anything that you have. Because you were never called African booty scratcher. You probably don't even know anybody that was called an African booty scratcher. And if you was called an African booty scratcher, you were 12 years old. And don't tell me that if you went to school in Africa, that in your classrooms and that in your pupils, that y'all weren't talking shit about each other. Don't sit there and act like Africans don't talk shit about other Africans in Africa, in middle school, in grade school. Y'all talk shit just like everybody else. So miss me with your false festivity about a term African booty scratcher. Because the most people who were called African booty scratchers were African Americans calling each other African booty scratcher. And you want to know where we got African booty scratcher from? You want to know where we got it from? We got it from that white man who used to make commercials about you guys. We got it from them old Disney cartoons that used to make you guys look like savages. And they used to put it on our TV channels to make sure we watched it every night. And after we watched the cartoons that made y'all look like savages in loincloth, we watched the infomercials that lasted 10 minutes showing us that you ain't nothing but a bunch of AIDS-infested, broke, flies in the eye, stomach bloating, starving ass Africans that can't do nothing for themselves. That's what they taught the African American. That's what was blasted on our TV while you was watching our black exploitation TV looking at us be gangsters and shit. So while you judge us based off what the white man put on TV, we did the same shit to you. So now this is the age of information. And now we all should realize that was all bullshit, manifested and created by white people to create propaganda, to make us hate each other, to make us hate who we are, as they stole all the greatness from our countries. As they made us forget how absolutely amazing and excellent and great we were in West Africa before they came and destroyed our entire civilization like some fucking invading aliens. While they create their museums and show off the greatness of Africa. While they built their white Wakanda off the backs of our ancestors. While talking shit about us wanting to rebuild the great nations that they came and destroyed because they was jealous. Because they was mad because they saw black Africans they couldn't pretend that was white, that had nations just as great, just as grand, if not grander than that great Egypt, that they continue to try to pretend like it was even an alien, a Sasquatch, or some mystical group of people that don't exist anymore. Invented because they just can't in their lexicon, they just can't in their brain come to terms that it was a black African that did it. Even though the Greeks admitted it, the people that they worship, worshiped us. And somehow they do mental gymnastics to forget that fact. So yeah, get your shit right. Anyway, tell what y'all think in the comment section. This is Afro Think Tank. Learn something, teach them. I'm out.